Hello and welcome everyone. Here this video is going to be very useful for the students of ICSE who are studying in 10th class. So in this video I'm going to discuss 40 MCQs which will help them to recall about Act 4 Julius Caesar, about everything they have gone through, and maybe they will get to know some new terms, new knowledge about this, and they can prepare it and they can practice whatever they have learned in the classes. So without wasting time, we are going to start. If you have any queries or questions, you can do in comment boxes. You can share your thoughts, your particular experience with this play and your doubts, and surely this live is going to be very useful for all of us. So I hope some of you will join me, and you are going to discuss your queries. So I'm going to start it, and I will be discussing everything about this. First question is, who are the members of the triumvirate in Act 4? First of all, triumvirate, it means three council members, or three council members who govern somewhere. So here we are talking about Rome. Three council members were Antony, Octavius, Lepidus, and this was the second triumvirate in this play. Second question, what are Antony and Octavius planning at the beginning of Act 4? They were planning a list of those to be killed, and these were, most of them were senators, and who conspired against Julius Caesar and who helped to assassinate Julius Caesar. Next one is, what does Antony say about Lepidus? What was Antony's opinions about Lepidus? Antony said that he is only useful for errands. He is only useful for some works, and Antony was just dealing with him, we can say, very manipulative way, and he was thinking that Lepidus is just a servant. And Antony compares Lepidus to a horse, and useful but not wise, usefully, and he manipulates Lepidus for his purposes. Fourth, how does Antony plan to use Lepidus? He uses Lepidus as a puppet. I mean to say, whatever the Antony would be giving orders to Lepidus, Lepidus would be following that. Fifth question, which family member of Lepidus is condemned? I mean to say, in the beginning of the scene, when they were making list, the people, the senators who are to be killed, one of the person was Lepidus's brother as well, and Antony's nephew as well. So here Lepidus agrees to the death of his brother for political gain, and it was a revengeful act. Sixth question, this is in scene 2. Where is Brutus camped in scene 2? They were at Sardis. Sardis was the place where Brutus was having his camps. And Brutus, and if we go through its explanation, Brutus is stationed at Sardis in the scene. Seventh, what is Brutus's mood when Cassius arrives? We come to know that Cassius and Brutus both were fighting about something. They were having misunderstandings and complaints against each other, so it was hostile, and he greets Cassius coldly and angry at his actions. Why does Brutus not want to argue in front of their soldiers? Because he was afraid. He wants privacy and he respects discipline. He is wise person, as we come to know in this play. So he was having these kind of issues, all of the above. And Brutus values leadership, discipline, and wants a private quarrel. That is explanation of this. Ninth, what does Brutus accuse Cassius of? Brutus accuses Cassius of corruption and bribery. He was saying that you are selling the offices for some money and for some property. So Brutus believes Cassius is taking bribes and dishonoring their cause. How does Cassius react to Brutus's accusations? When Brutus accuses Cassius for being corrupted and for taking bribes, what was the reaction of Cassius? Cassius was very angry about that, and he becomes very furious and defensive. Next question is, Cassius offers Brutus what during their argument? What was offered? It was his dagger. Cassius was saying that you can take my dagger and you can attack me and you can take my life if you don't believe me. So he offers his dagger to Brutus, saying he may as well kill him. 12th question is, what news does Brutus reveal during the quarrel? What was the news there? That Portia is dead. That was the news. How did Portia die? Portia swallowed fire. Portia, in grief and anxiety, swallowed hot coals. When Portia came to know that Antony and Octavius came in power and others had to flee Rome, so that time Portia was very afraid and nervous, and in that anxiety swallowed hot coals and gave her life. 14th question is, why did Portia commit suicide? Because she got the news of Octavius and Antony growing stronger, and she feared the growing power of Antony and Octavius. 15th question is, who tries to lighten the mood with music? Lucius plays the music to soothe Brutus in Brutus's camp. And after that, they were planning the battle. Who brings news of Antony and Octavius's army approaching? It was Messala. Messala brought that news. What does Cassius suggest regarding battle strategy? Cassius was of the opinion that they should wait for the enemy, and Cassius wants to let the enemy tire themselves by marching to Sardis. However, Brutus didn't agree with that. What does Brutus propose instead? And Brutus was of the opinion that they should march to Philippi. Why does Brutus want to go to Philippi? Because he wanted to prevent the enemy from gathering sport, so that's why. What supernatural event ends in Act 4? Ends Act 4. What was the supernatural? That was the ghost of Julius Caesar. Caesar's ghost appears to Brutus. Now we come to more detailed questions about this. What does Caesar's ghost tell Brutus? He says that you shall see me at Philippi. So that was his statement. How does Brutus respond to the ghost? Brutus says that he is ready. So he is accepting his death and everything he is going to face. How is Cassius' view of honor different from Brutus? Brutus believes in pure motives. Brutus is of the opinion that they must have pure motives. What is the key theme highlighted in Brutus and Cassius' quarrel? It is betrayal and trust. The mood of Act 4 can best be described as suspenseful and grim. The mood of Act 4 can be best described as suspenseful and grim. In whole act we are going to face some suspension, and it's grimly way it is being described here, which character tries to mediate during the argument. It is Titanius wants to mediate. Mediate mean to say he wants to console both the parties, like Brutus and Cassius. He doesn't want they should fight, so that's why he wants to mediate. A hot friend cooling refers to Brutus to Cassius, who says there is a tide in the affairs of men. These were the words of Brutus. There is a tide in the affairs of men. The line, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm. Itching palm, it is regarding bribe or corruption. So it was of being greedy. Which quality of Brutus makes him tragic? He was having blind trust on Cassius. Brutus is often seen as the tragic hero because he follows his principles to ruin. He was having so many principles in life and following it, and he didn't want to do anything by hook and crook, or by with ill will, or we can say with dishonest ways. The appearance of Caesar's ghost foreshadows what we come to know about Caesar's ghost and what he is foreshadowing. That was Brutus's defeat or death. It was foreshadowing. Cassius accuses Brutus of not supporting his requests. Cassius was saying that Brutus is not supporting his requests. Messala compares Brutus and Cassius to friends turned foes, mean to say friends have been turned to enemies. Earlier Brutus and Cassius were friends. According to him, now they are enemies because they were fighting and quarreling in the tent. Brutus's internal conflict is shown by his hallucinations, nightmares. The ghost scene emphasizes supernatural intervention, divine intervention. Lucius' role in this act is provide loyalty and comfort. Lucius is trying to provide loyalty and comfort to both Brutus and Cassius. Why is the argument between Brutus and Cassius important? Because it reveals cracks in the conspiracy. It tells us more about the conspiracy. Brutus's quote, "I would rather be a dog." What does it reflect? It reflects disgust at corruption. Brutus didn't want to take any corruption, and he said that it would be better for him to be a dog, a foolish dog who works at moon. So he wanted to be that. The act ends on a note of doom and foreshadowing. So these were 40 MCQs. I hope these helped you to recall everything you have learned in the class and you discussed in the class. So I hope that I will be making some more videos for just revision and discussion, and within 10 minutes you have revised your act 4, and surely it is going to help you. So if you like this video, kindly share and subscribe and share it with your friends.